Over the last few years, we've seen an incredible jump in AI capabilities. Models are larger, context windows are longer, and benchmarks keep getting broken. If you look only at demos, it feels like we're very close to real intelligence. And yet, if you talk to engineers building AI systems in uh, production, a very different picture emerges. System that looked impressive in testing becomes unreliable at scale. Answers sound confident but are wrong. Edge cases dominate real uses and debugging becomes guesswork. This gap between what we see in demos and what survives in production is what this series is about. Not new models, not new frameworks, but why AI system fails even when the models are excellent. We have good models than ever, and yet AI systems are becoming harder to trust, not easier. This sounds counterintuitive, but it's observable everywhere. Like I said, demos look impressive, product videos look magical, early prototypes feel intelligent, but once this system hit real users, they hallucinate confidently. They mix irrelevant context with relevant facts. They fail silently, and they give answer that sounds right but are fundamentally wrong. And all of this isn't speculation. Microsoft research has shown that retrieval augmented systems often degrade model performance when retrieval quality is slightly off. And instead of saying, I don't know, the model confidently blends noise into the answer. OpenAI's GPT-4 technical report explicitly notes that fluency and confidence increase faster than factual reliability, making human evaluator harder, not easier. And Anthropic has repeatedly highlighted that longer context windows increase the risk of contradiction, stale information, and misplaced confidence when context is not carefully controlled. In other words, the models improved, but the system didn't. And when these failures happen, the response is almost always the same. Let's improve the prompt, or we'll add more tools, or we have to add some memory, or we'll add an agent. But here's the uncomfortable truth: more prompts don't fix the architectural mistakes, more tools don't create control, and more chains don't create understanding. They often make the system look smarter while becoming harder to reason about, harder to debug, and harder to trust. Now, this series is not about the hype. It's not about making AI look impressive. It's about understanding why system fails, even when every individual component looks powerful. But because until we face that honestly, no amount of better models will save badly designed systems. And that is where AI systems engineering begins. Now that we've seen the illusion, impressive demos, confident hallucinations, and silent features, let's talk about why this happens at a deeper level. The problem isn't just noisy retrieval, flaky memory, or missing feedback loop. The problem is the mindset, especially the LLM-centric trap. Many teams treat the language model as the brain of the system. If the model can generate text, it must be able to reason, plan, remember, and answer truthfully all at once. It is an understandable assumption. After all, these models are quite impressive and they often look intelligent. But here's the true reality: intelligence is not text generation. Producing plausible text is not the same as understanding, reasoning, or making choices. And expecting one component to reliably do all of these is a recipe for a brittle system. You've probably seen these signs in your own experiments. The model confidently gives incorrect answers, yet the rest of the system blindly trusts them. Planning or multi step reasoning fails silently. The steps look right, but the conclusion is wrong. Or memory or context accumulates irrelevant information over time, polluting outputs. Or the system breaks in unpredictable ways under scale or edge cases, even if it worked in small tests. These are the classical signals that the architecture is trying to make the model do too much. Let's be clear, LLM are powerful tools. They excel at synthesizing language, pattern completion, generating coherent outputs. But they're not inherent planners. evaluators, or truth engines. They do not know what they don't know. They do not manage feedback loop, and they do not separate reasoning from action. And when you treat them as the brain rather than a component, everything else in the system, retrieval, memory, planning, evaluation, becomes fragile. And small mistakes cascade, confidence misleads, and the system eventually collapses. In the next part, we'll see how RAG, the so-called cerebral bullet, also falls into this trap. Retrieval, chunking, and context management all fail silently if the system architecture assumes that the model will just get it right. And understanding this is the first step towards thinking in systems, not just component. So we've seen why treating the LLM as the brain of the system is a trap. Now we'll talk about the more popular mitigation, retrieval augmented generation, or RAG. And at first glance, it seems perfect. Retrieve, retrieve relevant information from a knowledge base, feed it to the model, and let it generate accurate answers. On paper, it looks like we've solved hallucinations, memory gaps, and long term knowledge. But here is the real truth: RAG is powerful, but when it is designed as a system, it is not a feature you can just drop into a pipeline and then expect magic. RAG doesn't magically make your model intelligent. It promises you one thing: given the right context, the model can generate answers grounded in retrieved information. That's it. It does not guarantee relevance, it does not guarantee comprehension, it does not prevent overconfidence, and it does not automatically correct mistakes in the retrieval process. Most RAG pipelines failures happen quietly. You might not notice them until the system is live. And here's what typically goes wrong. The first, chunking is not the same as understanding. Breaking document in small pieces doesn't mean the model understands them. Chunk boundaries may split important context, summaries can omit critical nuances, and so on. Second, retrieval is not equal to relevance. A retrieved document might contain partial answers, outdated info, or noise. If the model trusted blindly, the answer can be confidently wrong. Microsoft's research RAG studies shows that retrieval errors often amplify hallucinations rather than reducing them. And third, context is not equal to knowledge. Even with perfect retrieval, feeding text to the model doesn't guarantee it will reason correctly or remember facts consistently. Long context can dilute focus, contradictory passages can confuse the model. So, RAG is not a magic bullet. It is a system that requires architecture and not a single component. You need to have clear separation between retrieval, reasoning, and validation. You need to have guardrails for noisy or irrelevant data. You also need strategies to manage long-term context without overloading the model, and you need continuous evaluation of what the model actually knows versus what it assumes. Without this system thinking, RAG pipelines often look like they are working until they silently fail in production. Now, in the next section, we'll see that agents, another popular solution that we assume, also amplify the same problem. Retrieval, tools, planning, none of these fix the root issue if the architecture treats the model as a brain. And understanding these limitations is the key to thinking like an AI systems engineer rather than just a prompt engineer. So, if RAG is not a silver bullet, one might think maybe agents are the answer, right? After all, agents promise autonomy, planning, reasoning, and tool use all wrapped into one system, and they sound like intelligence made tangible. But here's the reality: agents do not fix bad architecture, they amplify it. So, agent gives the illusion of intelligence. They can choose tools, plan multiple steps, and respond dynamically. But what happens when the underlying system is already fragile? Every small architectural flaw, missing validation, noisy retrieval, weak memory management, now actually starts to propagate faster. The system looks more autonomous, but it's more chaotic. And many agent systems fall into what I call tool chaos. Tools are called unnecessarily, outputs are ignored or misused, and planning steps conflict with each other. And the result, the agent appears smart in demos, but in real world production, it makes unpredictable, untraceable choices. And the autonomy you see is mostly illusion, not true system intelligence. Agents often operate stochastically. Their actions may change subtly between runs. For developers, expecting repeatable results that is a nightmare. And true intelligence in a system isn't stochastic behavior, it's deterministic control over information flow, reasoning, and actions. Agents without architecture blur this line, making debugging, evaluation, and reliability almost impossible. Here are the key takeaways. First, agents are powerful only when they sit inside a well designed system. Second, they do not replace pipelines, evaluation loops, or separation of responsibilities. And third, handling a model, a set of tools without boundaries is like giving a toddler a Swiss Army knife. It might work sometime, but the consequences of failures are unpredictable. Microsoft and OpenAI's internal evaluations on autonomous agent experiments shows that failure modes scale with system complexity, not with model complexity. So far, we've seen that the LLMs are not brains. RAG pipelines silently fail without proper design, and agents amplify flaws rather than fixing them. So the root problem is missing system thinking. There's no separation of responsibilities, no controlled information flow, no proper evaluation, and no guardrails for uncertainty. And this is exactly what AI systems engineering is meant to solve. So, if we step back from all the hype, LLM RAG agents, one thing becomes clear. These failures that we talked about aren't random. They aren't because the model is weak. The failure happens because we never treated AI as a system. In most AI projects, a single component, often the LLM, is expected to do everything: reasoning, memory, planning, truth validation, tool orchestration, everything. This lack of separation of responsibilities creates fragile systems. When one piece fails, the entire system collapses silently. Without explicit design around how data moves through the system, information leaks, noise, and irrelevant context pollute the outputs. Retrieval results, cached memory, and model predictions interact in unpredictable ways. Small mistakes cascade, and your smart system behaves irrationally under pressure. With absence of feedback loops, most AI pipelines don't actually learn from their own mistakes. Wrong answers aren't flagged, misused tools aren't corrected, and context pollution isn't pruned. Without feedback loops, error accumulates silently and system reliability degrades over time. And we engineers often evaluate AI output subjectively. It sounds right. But without evaluation boundaries, explicit metrics for correctness, confidence, and relevance, systems cannot be trusted in production. The model will always be persuasive, even when it's wrong. And a subtle but critical error is replacing logic with text generation just because an LLM can do it. So instead of deterministic rules or structured reasoning, we ask a stochastic model to enforce correctness. And this creates brittle systems where reasoning fails silently and unpredictably. And this is exactly where AI systems engineering comes in. It's a mind shift. It's a mindset shift from what library should I use to what architecture solves this problem reliably. We build systems with clear responsibilities, controlled information flow, feedback loop, and evaluation boundaries. We use LLMs for what they excel at, language synthesis, and build everything else explicitly. In short, we engineer intelligence instead of hoping the model will provide it. So far we've looked at why AI systems fail. We've seen the traps: LLM treated as brain, RAG pipeline failing silently, agent amplifying chaos, and absence of system thinking. But this series isn't just about the problems like I've been talking about. It's also about the solutions, the way senior engineers think when building AI systems that actually work. And the answer is thinking in pipelines, not prompts. You learn to design pipelines, not just prompts here. Instead of asking, how do I get this model to answer correctly? We will be asking questions like, how should information flow through the system? Which components are responsible for retrieval, reasoning, and evaluation? This mindset will separate reliable AI system from fragile experiments. We'll also teach you how to build systems that anticipate failure, systems that degrade gracefully, that fail creatively, and that provide meaningful feedbacks when things go wrong. Because failure isn't something to avoid, it's the system telling you where the design is weak. You'll also learn how to make AI output transparent and explainable. Not just output that looks good, but outputs you can reason about, trust, and debug. And explainability isn't optional, it's essential for real world application. You'll also gain intuition about what models can and cannot do, and when to rely on an LLM, when to validate output, and when to insert uh, deterministic logic. The goal here is practical grounded intelligence, not overconfidence in a component that looks smart. And above all, you'll adopt the mindset of engineering intelligence. We build architecture first, then we validate ideas with minimal code. Only after the system is sound do we scale or optimize. And this is what separates hobbyist prompt experiments from production grade AI systems. And by the end of this series, you won't just know how to use models, you'll know how to build AI systems that are reliable, explainable, and robust. And that is the foundation we're trying to build in AI systems engineering here. So, before we wrap up, here's something I want you to take away. If your AI system fails, it's trying to tell you something. Every hallucination, every silent failure, every confusing output is not just a bug, it's a signal, a reflection of architectural weakness, missing controls, or unbalanced responsibilities. And this series is about listening to these signals, not covering them up with more prompts, more tools, or more complex agents. We're not here to chase hype. We're here to understand, diagnose, and engineer AI systems that actually work in the real world. And that requires thinking in pipelines, designing for failure, and separating reasoning from action. It's about seeing the system as a whole, not just a model that generates text. So, in the next episode, we'll answer a simple but fundamental question. What is an AI system, really? We'll define intelligence at the system level, not the model level. And we'll see why understanding this identification is the foundation for building reliable, scalable, and production ready systems. So take a moment after this episode. Reflect on the AI systems you've built or interacted with up until now. Listen to what their failures are telling you. And get ready because in the next episode, we start thinking about AI the way a systems engineer thinks, not just a model user. I'll see you in the next episode.